Lily Tang Williams ends gun control. Ends it. Over. It's over.
It's over.
It's Lily Tang Williams. Welcome to my live free or die state. Actually, I am a Chinese immigrant who survived communism. And under Mao, 40 million people were starving to death after he sold communism to them. And 20 million people died, murdered during his Cultural Revolution. So my question to you, David, is that can you guarantee me, a gun owner tonight, our government in the U.S., in D.C., will never become a tyrannical government? Can you guarantee that to me?
There's no way I can ever guarantee that any government will not be tyrannical.
Well, then the debate on gun control is over because I will never give up my guns. Never. And you should go to China to see how gun control works for dictatorship of CCP.
Hey.
Lily Tang Williams.
Lily Tang Williams.
Yeah, man.
Shutting it down.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty succinct. I mean, I don't know why communism and socialism, like, why are they so popular? Why do they keep being, like, they're, like, inevitable? Like, it's just, like, it doesn't go away. No matter how many times you tell people, like, how much you read about how repressive it is, how much you see how ridiculous it is. If you saw Three Body Problem and the opening scene where they're in a struggle session, and, it's like, my God, if we don't have that, we should do that on the next show. And it's like millions upon millions and millions of people die. We all agree fascism is bad, right? We all agree Nazism is bad. And the Holocaust killed between 6 and 10 million people. Mao killed like 50 million. Nobody, looks at the sickle and the hammer the way we look at the SWAT sticker. I just don't know. I can't for the life of me understand why this ideology prevails. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, the right to bear arms was put there for a reason. And that, I think it's an impeachable right. It's something that's important to kind of keep yeah, sure, they got drones and a whole bunch of more powerful things, sure. But I think to be able to protect your own is an important thing.
And think about the guys that wrote that in. Those are guys that were they were in control. They didn't take over control and go, okay, guys, we won. No need for guns no more. Then they say, hey, look, we won.
We don't know who's coming in.
Yeah, and if this ever,
they want to start some.
If I ever turn into a vampire, you put the stake through my heart next. Like that's I understand, and you're, you can speak for the fairer sex, if you will. Although I know that you're pro 2A, so but women in particular.
I think that they need guns more than anyone.
I agree.
Are you kidding me?
I agree.
I mean, just look at you guys.
It's an equalizer.
Exactly. Force multiplier. You need one. 100%.
Yeah.
You're the weaker, slower sex. So there's like zero chance at me defending myself. Even with a knife, it's like the chances of it getting taken from me and used against me are pretty high. So if I want something that's going to actually protect me, that needs to be available to people.
Well, such as you, David Hogg, who's arguing the point. And David Hogg is one of the, he is the Gen Z, the millennial Gen Z face of gun control and leftist ideology. And it's, and he lived through Parkland. So he lived through a remarkably traumatizing event, remarkably traumatic event. But at the same time, to your point, he's 140 pounds. He's a tiny little man that has a very, very loud opinion. Mm-hmm. And it's like, brother, your entire existence exists because of guns. Like, he walks around with armed guards. He lives in D.C. where there's nonstop, constant both surveillance and armed people everywhere. And he wants, the Lily Tang Williamses of the world to be low-hanging fruit for his type of government. Crazy.
Did you see that clip going around where there was a guy that was about to get carjacked, and then he just pulled out his pistol real quick, and the guy ran away, and everyone's like, this is why guns are bad. And everyone in the comment section was roasting him because he's like, this is exactly why you have the Second Amendment. Because that would have gone real bad if that guy didn't have something that showed that he was able to protect himself.
Yeah, then that guy made a follow-up video and said, no, just give the car. No property is worth another human being's life.
You don't know that he's just going to take the car and that he's not going to kill you in the process. What if you have kids in the car?
Sure. I won't even go that far. I'd say I agree with you. No property is worth human life, but that's not a decision I made.
That's a decision they're making.
That's a decision they made.
Yeah.
I didn't make that decision. I didn't say, hey, take my shit, I want to shoot you.
Right.
I said, you tried to take, did you see the one I think it was in Chicago, or it might have been in Detroit, where this guy was walking into his apartment and these two dudes ran up on him and they were going to like execute him. And
Whoa.
his girl comes out. You see these dudes running for no reason. And then on the Ring video, girl comes out with an AR and it was like, oh, okay. Uh-oh.
Go, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't glorify this stuff. And I don't, some guys, I get gun culture can piss people off. Some guys like fetishize it. Try that in a small town. Like, come on my porch. It's like, some people are like, I wish they would. No, I hope I never have to.
Yeah.
But goddamn, if I ever have to, I better have it on me. Like, you don't want your last thought on this earth to be like, man, fuck, I should have had it. Oh man, like you don't want the very last thought you have on this earth to be like, oh man, I just wish why didn't I bring my, like, it's great. You have an unassailable right to defend yourself at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to make it like this. You can't beat back the government. We got F-15s. Even Biden said that.
Which was alarming.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, maybe I just need to stock up then.
Yeah, right? It's like, tell that to Afghanistan, dickhead. But, I'm laughing in Viet Cong at you. But the idea is because you just said that.
Right.
I need a gun.
Exactly.
Like there's nothing that you could have ever done to make me say like, oh boy, like, hey man, you just don't know what's gonna happen. You just don't know. They do these no-knock raids. Who is that libertarian journalist? They do a no-knock raid at 3:00 in the morning, and the next thing you know, they're burning his house down and he's inside of it. It's like, whoa, okay.
I don't understand how that's legal, and that's where
Well,
being a gun owner.
FISA just happened yesterday. They made it legal for themselves.
But that's what makes being a gun owner scary, because I can tell you right now, if someone busts in my house at 3 a.m., we're pulling a weapon out.
Mm-hmm.
And how am I supposed to know that that's a Fed? And now they just see a gun, and then your life's in danger for doing nothing wrong.
Totally get it.
Doing nothing wrong.
But you got to survive the situation first and then adjudicate it. You can't be like, in that moment, you can't be like, let me put my hands up and hope the courts handle this right. You got to get out of the situation and then let the chips fall where they may.
I don't know that there's getting out. That's my point.
Do you think
there was this Ohio case where they did a no-knock, and it was on the wrong house, and it was a mom with a baby, and they were throwing those explosives,
the flashbangs,
into the house. The baby had to go to the hospital. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Also, why are we using flashbangs in residential
areas? And then
areas?
he's like, oh, we did it outside, and when it was proven, no, it went inside, and the baby had chemical burns in its eyes. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Before Black Lives Matter got completely corrupted in Dallas, there was a cop who accidentally knocked on the wrong door, saw the black guy in the door, and when he opened it, thought it was her place, and shot the guy. And then it turned out, well, they knew each other, and it became very convoluted. I don't know if you remember this, and she was a Dallas police officer, and then there was these marches, and then this guy started trying to hunt down police officers, and then there was this whole thing in Dallas, and one of the guys came up, one of the protesters, and was like, I served 2 tours in Iraq. I need to know what the rules of engagement are. Tell me what the rules of engagement are. If you're telling me that any cop at any time can get startled and shoot me, well, then I need to be able to get startled at any time and shoot them. What's the rules of engagement? And we're sitting here having this conversation, and it's like, man, I remember Carl Winslow on Family Matters being a police officer, like a happy, pudgy little guy with a 5-shooter. Now you look at a cop, and it's like, this dude just ready to go to Mogadishu. Why are we arming these guys like this? Why do they have flashbang grenades that they're throwing into apartments at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Which city?
Yes.
They have tanks.
We went to SHOT Show.
What?
We went to SHOT Show. The law enforcement, dude, the law enforcement apparatus.
What
do we, for who?
They're supposed to be keeping the peace.
Exactly.
That's the job.
And now they can have no knock. Speaker Johnson, of all people, was the tie-breaking vote that said you don't need a warrant anymore. You don't need a warrant for wiretaps. You could use FISA courts on domestic on Americans, right? That basically means that the Fourth Amendment doesn't exist anymore. And if you're an enemy of the state, we can listen to everything you say, and we can walk into your place anytime we want.
So what are constitutional lawyers and talking heads saying? Because I don't understand how this is the workaround. What
they're saying is this is ridiculous that Johnson would possibly go along with this. What they're saying is that this nullifies the Bill of Rights. Your government.
And then you do it to one amendment, you do it to the rest.
Yeah, and which Edward Snowden is the guy that's like been going nuts on Twitter, going like, I fucking told you. I told you. You guys think that this stuff exists because we're fighting terrorism. Nah, dude. Those eyes are being turned on you, on me. That apparatus, that military policing apparatus is, Eye of Sauron is on all of us, man. Like, so what do you do about it, you said? Well, you got two options, right? You could just keep saying whatever the hell you want, raising awareness and hoping that the populist movement rises up and makes it impossible for them to get away with it. You can do what Lily Tang said and basically be like, hey, show up at my door. And this is the Alexander Solzhenitsyn thing, right? This is the Gulag Archipelago. At the end of the day, whatever these politicians say, there still has to be a cop. There still has to be the first person to go through that door. And it sounds grotesque and it sounds dramatic, but you have to make it so that it's like, all right, man, like, I'm going to trade my life for your life. You better really be fucking down with the cause here. You better really be down with the cause, because the second you knock on my door, I'm dead. I'm dead anyway. How many of you guys want to die for $40,000 a year?
And then do they have to say that, like, police or FBI, like, or is it?
Yeah, as your door is being kicked down, they're like, it's the police. And it's like, bang, chaos.
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you supposed to do?
No, I think it's disgusting, and absolutely under no circumstance should this be allowed.
We need the good cops that are left. There's a great guy named Dominic Izzo that people should follow. Dominic's a great dude. Wild man, and former cop. He talks about this a lot and in depth. And it's the people on the ground. It's the police officers. It's people that are our friends. It's people that train with us. They have to stand up
and say, we're not doing it.
We're not going to do it. I'm not going to execute this order.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. I am not going to be used as a tool against my neighbors. I am not going to be used as the tool of oppression against the people that I love and I'm sworn to protect. Mm-hmm. You know? And they got rid of a lot of those people with COVID, didn't they? They got rid of a lot of those people that would push back. It was almost like a purifying test. You know, so we need those people. If any of you are them listening, please share this. We need those people on the ground to say, nope, I'll never do it. I'll never do it.
Say it clearly.
I will never allow some politician, some system, some government to use me as a tool of oppression against my neighbors and my family and my loved ones. I won't kick down the door in a warrantless search. I won't go in and throw a flashbang into a single mother's apartment at 3:00 in the morning. I won't do it. You know, and if they won't do it, and even better, if they know that there's Farvas out there that will, stand up against them and know that it's going to happen. You got to break ranks. You got to do what Edward Snowden did. You have to have the courage, the absolute the balls on somebody to say, man, look, I know this is going to cost me my pension. It might cost me my life because these people are monsters. But there's going to be a no-knock raid tomorrow at 3:00 in this apartment complex, and it's going to put people's lives at risk. Mm-hmm. Get out of there now.